So hey, assalamualaikum guys. I wanted to give a quick overview of the application, kind of what we have to date, based on our first discussions and when we did our design, and then kind of all the development work that Hadi and myself have done, and then kind of like those changes you guys requested and some additional features you guys asked for. There are one or two outstanding items that we're hoping to get completed, but for the most part, I think we're pretty close. We've got the Chrome extension now. We have the app. We have a basic CRM. We do have like an overall kind of engagements view, and you can go in and edit engagements and add tasks to engagements. And there's also this concept of ad hoc tasks, and everything is kind of abstracted away from you guys in terms of the spreadsheets and everything. And we have some basic search and filtering for most of the different data sets. And so I think we're pretty close. And so I wanted to do a few different videos. Like kind of one video on kind of like an overview of how the software works for the most part, and then some of the features, some of the cooler features we built, and like some email notifications you guys might get, and things like that. So I spoke with Fahad and Hadi, and I thought it would be a good idea to kind of make like an overall video for you guys, just kind of showing how the application works, and the idea, I think, hopefully, I would hope the idea is that we can actually kind of like hand you guys the keys, and let you guys just take it for a test drive. So the data that's sitting in there is kind of your playground, and any changes you make, it won't impact because we can always kind of refresh the data. So I think the idea would be that we could kind of give you guys logins and everything like that, and then you guys can go and just play around and see how you guys feel and if it's comfortable and things like that, and then we kind of go forward from there. And so the idea would be that at some point we could, uh, like, you guys could start using it in a way where it's kind of it's kind of okay to make mistakes. And then the idea would be that we would kind of re-import all your data at some point when you guys feel comfortable, like, hey, this thing is solid. It's gonna carry us. And then you guys can kind of step away from your whole Excel spreadsheet kind of monstrosity that's going on. So yeah, let me just I want to give a few. Let me just go ahead and log in and give you guys a kind of an overview of what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and log in as Shayan. So the first thing to kind of give you guys an overview on is I'm going to go ahead and log in, and it kind of takes you straight to the dashboard. And um, the idea is to kind of have like this is kind of an overall view of all the engagements that Shayan is assigned to. But he's not a part. He could be or could not be a partner on it, but he's also assigned as a staff member on it. But if Kevin logged in or someone else logged in, so let me go ahead and log in as Kevin, and then go ahead and log in there. And you can see these are actually all the engagements that are assigned to Kevin. In fact, he has some tasks too. So these are all the different engagements that are assigned to Kevin, and yeah. And so that's kind of but let me go back to the partner view just to give you guys an overview of how that works. So I'll log back in as Shayan. There's no preference here. I'm just logging in as Shayan because it seems as though there's Janae is not assigned to any engagements based on the data set we imported. He's just a partner on a lot of them. So yeah. So okay. So here we are. We're back in the overall view for Shayan in the dashboard view. So I think the idea would be like you may not actually live out of here too much. This is kind of just like an overview, and yeah. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and jump into the CRM view. So you can see here on the left side we discussed earlier, and there's this basic nav bar, and this nav bar is kind of your navigation for the entire app. It describes the dashboard, the different types of clients you guys have, and all your different workflows, and then some settings for your company and being able to sign out and everything like that. So this is kind of like your router or your navigator. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into the corporate clients. We currently don't have any personal clients in the system. So this is kind of just the overall corporate client view. And so the first thing to notice is that there is there is a filter up here, and there is a way to also add clients and search for clients. So you'll see this plus button kind of all over the app, and based on the view you're looking at, it'll be just to add an item to that data set. So here we're looking at the corporate clients, and so if I click that plus button, it'll allow me to create a client. So let me go ahead and do that. So here we go. This is like a basic create client. You can see this is kind of grayed out here, and it allows me to kind of just like 4 basic fields for creating a client. So it'd be like my basic client. And I'll go ahead and assign it to Cheyenne, and I'll set their year end for March 31st. And so you can see here actually when I set the year end, it didn't actually append the year. It kind of ignored the year. And the idea is that here the year end is specific for just the month and the day. And then this kind of feeds into the concept of like being able to filter just by year end, just by month and day, and not the year itself. And I think that was like a core feature for you guys, something Carbon couldn't offer. So, or there was in their pipeline. So, and I'll go ahead and add some like basic notes for my client. Go here, and so I'll go ahead and create this client. And you can see actually went ahead and created the client, and now you're in kind of the edit mode for the client. So if we go back to the corporate listing and I go ahead and search for my basic client, you can see it comes up like that. Yeah, and so we can actually even go ahead and filter for Cheyenne's clients, and you can actually see here if I go all the way. This is sorted alphabetically by name. So if I go here in the M section, you'll actually see my basic client. Or if you wanted to search for it, you could go basic, and it'll come up. Or if I got rid of basic and I put client, it'll still come up, and I can go ahead and click into it, and there you go. And I'm here. And so you can notice that once I actually created the client, there's like these 2 kind of areas here, which we're hoping to kind of combine and make it like a tab thing, but for now we've just kind of separated them. So here you can actually see that on the client view, you'll be able to see the active engagements for a client, and you'll be able to see the contacts for a client. So I'll go and actually add in contact for this client, and I'll put in myself as I'll go ahead and put in Fahad as a client for this guy, and we'll give 6 821 9335, and we'll give him the sin and his date of birth is okay, so this might get annoying, but we can fix this. But hopefully there'll be a year view to make it really easy as well too. It's not too hard to. Well, let's just say he was born in 2015, and we'll go ahead and create the client, create the contact. So this is kind of what we discussed at our last meeting. There's this concept of a contact that belongs to a client, and you can have many contacts that belong to a client. So, example for you guys would be probably the Asaria family. I know Dr. Jamil Asari is one of your guys' clients, but you guys probably file like things for his business, things for his personal taxes, and then probably taxes for his kids and his wife and all that kind of stuff. And so here this would be like my basic client would be the Asaria family, and then underneath you could have all the different contacts of all the different family members down here. And so you can add as many contacts as you'd like to a client, and go ahead and create that contact as well. So you can see here now there's 2 contacts that belong to this client, and so yeah, that's basically how it works. We're back. Sorry, my development server turned off. Yeah, I was discussing just concepts of contacts, and you kind of have this basic client here, and we had discussed this concept of being able to add notes for a client, some kind of permanent notes for a client, so you can go ahead and update those here and whatnot. So so this is kind of the view and for clients. And then, so I'll go ahead and actually jump into a client that we have, some data on already. And so I think this is one of Janae's clients, RV Chain Supply Consulting Incorporated, and they have a January 31st year end. And so we'll go ahead and jump into them. And you can see here that, so you can see here we've actually we've already added context to this guy with some bogus information, and they actually have, here you can see they actually have active engagements. So, I'm looking at this, RB chain supply. So sometimes the workflow could be like, I want to know, um, I want to know all the engagements I have for sexy food, right? So I'm in the CRM view. I can click into the contact, the client, and when I scroll down, you can see actually all of the different engagements for sexy food. So these are just like 3 different engagements here, which is kind of nice. And so you can see all the engagements per client, but then you can also see all the engagements for a particular workflow type, like T2 or T1 or HST or whatever the case is. And so, yeah, and so going back to RB, sorry, I was in the wrong view here. So I'm going to go back to RB. Chain Supply Consulting Incorporated. So you can see here, there's actually a search bar for kind of everything you'll see in the entire app, and where we see the data set, you can probably search. And so you can see here, if I wanted to, I could search by email of the client, or I could search by the the first name or the last name. So you can see here it's still matching until I put the ER, and then it kind of filters it out. Or if I want to search by SIN, that's okay. So you will be able to search by SIN. Yeah, and same thing here. You can you can search by different engagement types. So if I wanted to search by what's completed, right, or what's not ready. So you can see like, okay, maybe there could be a bunch of engagements that are not ready for a particular client, and you want to go and see like what's going on. And so yeah, it's pretty slick that way. So yeah, so that's kind of the overall view of the CRM. Next video will be on kind of how the engagements work and all the different features there. So thanks.